You know, history's a funny thing. Some stuff made the history books, some stuff didn't, and some stuff absolutely should have. You know, like the founding fathers and the American colonists were basically a bunch of lushes. Oh, yeah, I'm telling the truth. You see, back then, drinking water was dangerous. We didn't have things like water filtration or microbiology. So people got sick from drinking water. So honestly, the safer alternative was booze, because part of distilling is boiling the water, which killed all the bacteria. And the colonists liked things like beer, wine, rum, whiskey, and a few other ones, including punches and Madeira. Madeira is a wine fortified with rum. See, now the thing that really kicked off the American Revolution was the Townshend Acts. This was the British imposing taxes on the American colonies. You know, taxation without representation. This was because they were so far in debt after the 7 Years' War with France. We know this as the French and Indian War. And they taxed a lot of things, and the history books say they taxed tea. But what really pissed the American colonists off was the tax on booze. The Townshend Acts made alcohol significantly more expensive. That's right, the American Revolution was started with booze. And these dudes drank a lot. It's the average that Americans drink 5 gallons of booze per year. Back then, they drank 7. 7 gallons of booze per year. And it wasn't just people, it was the founding fathers. You see, before John Hancock signed the Declaration of Independence, he smuggled booze to avoid British taxes. And in 1768, the British found out and seized Hancock's ship, which ironically was named the Liberty. They then accused him of smuggling 100,000 gallons worth of wine and Madeira, which he was absolutely and very proudly guilty of. So the British impounded the ship, which pissed off the colonists. They literally dragged the ship out of harbor customs and into Boston Commons and burned it. The British then sued John Hancock for $7 million. That's in today's money. And we wonder why he signed the Declaration of Independence. And in 1773, the British imposed another tax on tea, which pissed off Sam Adams. Yeah, that's Sam Adams. And after an angry, rowdy night of drinking at the Green Dragon Tavern, Sam Adams then led the Sons of Liberty to a ship in Boston Harbor and dumped all the tea. The Boston Tea Party. Even Paul Revere's midnight ride. Before he started, he did some liquid courage and drank 2 large glasses of rum. And see, back then, bars and taverns were the centerpieces of American society. Not much has changed. So Revere went from bar to bar telling people the British were coming. And not to mention, at each bar, to sustain his midnight ride, he had an ale. That's right, Paul Revere's midnight ride was basically a pub crawl. That's a hell of a DUI. Where were you going so fast, Mr. Revere? Well, the fucking British are coming. I mean, George Washington was such a fan of whiskey that at one point his estate was the biggest producer of whiskey in the United States. I mean, even look at the Marines. The Marines were founded in 1775 in Tun Tavern in Philadelphia, which ended up being their first recruitment headquarters. Well, now that I think about it, that actually kind of makes sense. Really easy to be default aggressive when you're 3 sheets to the wind. And that's not even the best one. In 1787, 2 days before signing the Constitution, the 55 delegates of the Constitutional Convention celebrated at a local tavern. And I use celebrate loosely. According to the bar tab, our founding fathers drank 54 bottles of Madeira, 60 bottles of claret, 8 bottles of whiskey, 22 bottles of porter, 8 bottles of hard cider, 12 full bottles of beer, and 7 bowls of alcoholic punch. This is all fact. I mean, Jesus Christ. So let me get this straight. The American colonists were basically a group of frat boys. And the start of the American Revolution was spring break 1776. Jesus, rollerblading Christ. Holy shit, dude. Our country was founded while our founding fathers were half in the fucking bag. Oh, with that being said, thanks for watching. The best way to support me is to like, comment, or share on these videos. Episode 3 of By the People is up. You can grab it wherever you get your podcasts. And I'll be going live tonight about 9 p.m. where we will absolutely talk about this. And with that being said, be nice, be kind, be patient.